Well, kind of a gray morning. Welcome to Thursday morning, July 1st, day number 4. Just a gray morning. I can tell there's some wind from the east, just like they said. They were saying up to 25 mile an hour. It's, I don't know, 5 to 10. Every once in a while you hear some wind rushing through the trees. But I'm gonna make breakfast. Just woke up. It's almost 8 o'clock actually. I woke up, I guess, at 6:30. Well, first at 5:30, and I went to check to see if there's any fog, and there was not. And I got up at 6:30 for a minute, went back to sleep, and got up at 7:30, and now I've been slowly getting out of the tent. If you look, there is some blue sky underneath the edge of those clouds, so maybe that'll come this way, who knows. But the ravens have been making all kinds of noise. It's just kind of a cool, it's like probably in 52 degrees or something. Kind of a cool day. But I'm gonna make some breakfast right here and get on with my morning. There they are. That was my alarm clock this morning. I'm on a day trip here on Pillsbury Lake, about noon. I'm just headed off to the east end right now. The steady little 10 mile an hour wind at the most, I'd say. I'm headed over here to check out that first campsite that I didn't get a good look at earlier. And then maybe I'll head off to the west end of the lake and look at that a little bit. Pretty nice day, probably in the mid-60s. There's a breeze, which is helping keep the bugs away a little bit, which is kind of nice. And overall, been pretty quiet here. There's one group that went through here yesterday afternoon about 4:30, went by pretty late, family of like 6 people or so. And pretty late in the day, and the thunder was rumbling. I was kind of thinking maybe they'd camp over here, but it's a pretty small site for that large of a crowd. Pretty nice. Here's the other campsite. Kind of a flat little rock. A little more rocky area there than I thought. Yeah, see, actually this does have a pretty nice landing. What was I thinking? Never got close enough to really take a good look at it. I'll go up this way a little bit and get into some gravel, and then I can just get out. Yeah, actually this wouldn't have been as bad of a site as I thought. It does have a little rock table. That's kind of neat. Fire grate is literally right next to the water. Kind of just like the other one, is pointed kind of on edge, so to sit and look at the fire, you're looking and you got to feed wood into the end of it. Different. Oh yeah, this grate's made this way. It's got no gussets on the corners here, like the gussets are normally on the sides and not in the face. Never seen that before or noticed it. But yeah, a little gravelly patch. Actually kind of like the view better from this one too. Man, why didn't I stay here? I could always go move, I guess. I probably won't. You know, it's got actually some pretty decent tent pad right here. That one's pretty nice. You could maybe get one up there if you had to. It's a little rocky. That one's pretty lumpy, but a lot more open. Oh, and then there's the really nice ones back here. Oh yeah, there we go. That'd be the really nice tent pad, I guess. Yeah, bit more open, get more sun, closer to the water. No, I was wrong, completely wrong about that. This definitely is the better of the two sites. Wish I would have stayed here instead. The voice is coming from the creek here. That's odd. Didn't think it was navigable. It's pretty shallow. I don't know where they would be coming from. This flows to Swallow Lake, so maybe they're trying to take the creek from Swallow Lake instead of the Portage, I don't know. Or maybe the Portage crosses the edge of this creek and that's just their racket from echoing down it. Huh, I can make it a little ways here. Oops, not on that one though. So close. Oops. Well, that was the end of that. Huh, now I'm going to have to back out, I guess. I wish I could get around the corner and see what's in there. There's a little to back all the way out, I guess. Spam is sizzling. Today, it's going to be on a bun with a slice of pepper jack cheese. Eventually the gravity filter will plug up and it'll start running really slow. This flow right here is a pretty good indication for this filter anyway. It's pretty slow. It's just barely trickling. It's taken several minutes just to fill half this bottle full. So what we got to do is use some clean water, which we've got here now, and we're going to back flush it. I'll show you how. One of the things I carry in my water filter bag here, my wonderful wife made me, is a little baggie of parts. It just weighs pretty much nothing. Since I use water bottles, 2-liter bottles, a lot of smart water bottles and stuff, depending on the size of the trip. I carry some extra caps. Get this stuff out. An extra nipple for that
fitting that comes out of the bag. Here's an extra fitting for the other mating end of that, and an extra smart water bottle cap. And I carry a flip squeeze cap from a smart water bottle. This is the trick right here. You need one of these, and they're free. They come with a water bottle. All right, this is how I flush this thing. Other people do it different ways. You can use a syringe. There's other methods, but using that squeeze cap from a smart water bottle, this thing right here, put it on a 2-liter with some water in it. I just put it right onto the end, reverse flow with the filter, and push and squeeze. And there. And that's about enough to back flush it, and that's it. Thing is ready to go again.
Exploring down the shoreline just a little bit from the campsite. To the east is a couple of trails that come up out of the lake. Moose tracks. It's literally like a cow path here. It's almost like a portage trail. It's so big and easy to follow. And it comes up over here and cuts through this little clearing. Moose use this path. Yeah, this path here where the moose come up. Like I said, it's quite a path. And they also head this way toward the campsite, and this is the one I followed to the campsite. But right there where it crosses the Pillsbury Lake is obviously at the narrowest point. There's just a tiny narrows right here. So I'm sure somewhere on the other side of this is a corresponding path.
Happy Thursday evening. It is 4th day of my trip. I'm here on Pillsbury Lake. I'm all pretty much ready for bed. I got to roll this over and tie it down. I had a pretty good rest day in camp. I went out for a paddle, explored pretty much most of the perimeter of Pillsbury Lake. Checked out the other campsite. That was kind of nice. There's somebody there now, but other than that, I've had the whole lake to myself. And I ate some of my extra food, kind of putting that down. I explored a bunch of the moose trails, and I took a nap for a while too. That was pretty great to have a chance to do that. Just got a couple things left to do, and then I'm gonna head off to bed. It's been a wonderful evening. It wasn't quite as windy as the weather forecast said, and it's been very cool today. I think the high is maybe 65. It's been just absolutely pleasant. Mosquitoes are out in force, but other than that, it's been great. Thanks for watching.
Good morning. It's Friday, July 2nd. This is the portage landing from Pillsbury to Swallow Lake. It is a nasty little one. Sharp, jagged rocks, nowhere to stand or put your feet, and then deep water. That's it. There's a log out there in the way too. But I managed to do it. Anyway, I'm getting going this morning. Taking the portage. Awoken this morning at 5:30 by wolves. They had a few howls last night late as I went to bed. It was probably 10:30 before I went to sleep. Then it was pretty quiet through the night, but 5:30, holy cow, they were close too. I mean, it sounded like they were right outside the tent. I snuck out with the camera, looked around, but it's pretty gray, couldn't see much. No sign of them. So they're around. They were loud, and there were lots of them. Pretty interesting. Hope they didn't get that cow or calf that people have reported seeing around Pillsbury. Well, on to Swallow Lake. Yeah, this portage trail is used a lot more than I thought it would be. Apparently there's a lot of traffic from Meads here into Pillsbury. Really quite worn, big path. And look at this rock outcropping here for the portage landing. It's just, it's pretty neat. The only funny part is right there is the portage over to down up to Meads. It's like right there. So won't be going too far. Landing, if you were in a tandem and had someone to hold the canoe, you could, and didn't mind it grinding against the rocks like all these other marks indicate, you could hold the feet or hold it and keep dry feet even. But for me, could land down here, but it's pretty rocky, sharp boulders. I'm gonna try down here. It's not too deep. The bottom seems to be solid right there, and I can reach packs up here on the rock, I think. So that's the plan. The wind coming from this way should blow the canoe and keep it up against me too. It'll work out. Pretty little lake, that's for sure. Yeah, Meads Lake. 110 rod portage there was pretty nice actually. Not too bad. A few big boulder fields and a few boardwalks, a couple of mud holes, but it's dry, so it's not too bad. There up ahead is the fire damage on the left side. It's regrowing back pretty good. I think that may have been from the Ham Lake fire, but I can't remember. I made it that far if that was a separate little fire. Seems like it's a separate little fire to me. I don't remember. But anyhow, yes, this is the small end of the lake. It's actually a pretty good sized lake. But the wind has calmed down. It was a little stiffer this morning. Should be a nice day for a paddle across this thing. I'm back on Poplar Lake. This narrow little channel. I've never been back here before on this landing. That's a tough portage. It's pretty tough. Hilly. Of course it's long. A lot of boulder fields. Again, a lot up and down, and then some bright sunny spots where in burn areas where it's pretty warm. And then to top it all off, the landing there onto Poplar, that little spot right there isn't very nice. Big boulders and steep water, and just kind of nowhere to set anything down or anything. Pretty tough one. Well, this way to the parking lot. Well, the canoe's loaded and I'm back here at the Poplar Lake parking lot, about to head out. It was a little bit of a breeze coming across Poplar. It was just perfect, actually perfect conditions. Landing is kind of crowded with people coming in, but I had a great trip overall. It was a wonderful 5 days. Thanks for joining along and thanks for watching.